Year 2 has finally come to an end here in Houma, and I am excited for our second off-season. Year 2 was not too much unlike Year 1. It got off to a good start. We had a really nice win against the UAB Blazers, and things looked good for the offense going forward. But then it quickly went off the rails after our loss to Arkansas in Week 2. We only won one conference game, and once we reached conference play, things just really fell apart for both the offense and our defense. We threw 25 INTs, we allowed multiple big play touchdowns every single week, and we eventually started Jason Gallimore as our quarterback as a true freshman. And he played better than our other two starters in Joshua Wood and David DePaul, but those last two games especially left a pretty sour taste in our mouths to close the season. While we still have yet to reach our coach goal of 4 wins through our first 2 seasons each, with 3 coming this year and 2 coming last season, we have 22 seniors leaving due to graduation, 18 of which were either full-time or part-time starters throughout our second season, which means we have a lot of holes to fill and plenty of young talent to come in and take those starting jobs. As we enter Week 1 of the transfer portal window, we have 14 scholarships already signed, many of which come at positions that weren't necessarily a need for us that we're losing due to seniors graduating. But we still have plenty of spots to fix. I think our main target has to be offensive line because we're losing 2 starting guards, plus Reggie Cole as a true freshman right tackle was bad the entire season. Hopefully he progresses well, but we can't just bank on that. And middle linebacker is still a pretty big need for us. We only have, I think, one guy that looks like he's going to take a scholarship offer from us. We're currently battling for Josh DeChico with Mississippi State, and we will likely get Dominic Maloney, but Tulsa's trying to creep up on us from behind. And we are close to getting Corey Bouya at free safety, which I still think is going to be a need for us at a starter. I don't think a high schooler is going to be good enough to be our starting safety in year 3. And then punter and fullback are also needs, with LSU about to pretty much take both guys that I was looking at initially. Now, we do have some pretty big problems, though, at tackle. There are no 3-star prospects that are open to coming to us because we don't meet their deal breakers. Pretty much either coaching style or coach prestige, all of them too low, and we can't bring in a single 3-star tackle. 2-star tackles, we can't address either. So we pretty much can't bring in a starter. We're going to have to rely on Reggie Cole, I guess, to be our starting right tackle. We'll still have Tariq Williams at left tackle as a senior, hoping for him to also progress pretty well. At guard, the story is the exact same. We are in trouble with this offensive line until we can bring in some more high school recruits and wait a couple years for guys to progress. I can't believe these guys all have deal breakers. Running back is also a need, as we have 3 seniors leaving us this season, all of whom were the top 3 on our depth chart, and we have not signed a single one so far. We're close to getting Vincent Tandy, but we got to find 2 more as well. Tight end, we have 2 of 3 guys that we need. Tackle, we've signed 1 of 3 players that we need there, and we also got to bring in 2 more guards as well. We're going to spend our first 100 hours here in Week 1 by going after 2 more right guards to bring in as left guards, hopefully. We've already got Paul Phoenix and Cole Kane, 2 guys that I do believe in for the future. But at tackle, the best option for us to go after are just simply a couple of 1-star prospects out of high school, so they won't get playing time, obviously, in their first couple of years. Just hoping for better depth, at least. And now we are pretty much banking on Reggie Cole to improve vastly in player progression. At middle linebacker, I've added a couple of prospects here in Cord Shaw, Julius Henley, and Steven Souls Jr. We'll scout those here in a moment. But I do want to add a 1 action to at least get back in first place for Josh DeChico. And we're going to hard sell and match those motivations up. And that would be coach's favorites. We'll leave it at that. Hopefully State does not add anything else for them. Now we'll look at these couple of linebackers here. And these guys are all transfers, these bottom three. So at least these guys want to come play for us. So we got to bring in at least 3 middle linebackers. And they're going to be starters. At least 2 of them will probably be starting caliber players. So we'll probably offer one to Cord Shaw here. I like his tackling ability, good pursuit, and solid zone coverage. Block shed's not bad. Speed, though, was pretty low, which could be a concern, especially if you're in pass coverage against a tight end, for example. Henley does not have the best speed either. And Souls has 82 speed and way better pursuits. I definitely want to get him for that block shedding as well. So we'll give scholarships to all 3, but I will throw in a couple of DMs to Souls and to Cord Shaw because I like them better over Henley. Now, shifting our focus to running back, we should get Tandy at some point here, but we need somebody who can come in to be the starter over Tandy because we cannot start a true freshman at running back. Just not going to work. 90 speed for Jamie Felix. I like his skill set plenty. Karan Boyd, transferring out of Duke. 90 speed, 95 acceleration. He's more of a receiving back. And then Terrence Middleton out of Woodstock, Georgia. Better acceleration. They all have 90 speed. And Felix, the only one of the 3 to not have any abilities. And abilities are important. So we're going to target Middleton here first. As a junior transfer, he has no scholarship offers so far. We'll definitely throw in some hours for him. And it makes sense to bring in at least 2 starting caliber players here. And Karan Boyd would be a junior going into year 3. Middleton would become a senior, so it'd be nice to have one guy return for year 4. So we'll offer scholarships to those 2. We'll wait on Felix until we learn more about Boyd and Middleton's scholarship offers from other schools. And now I am thinking about going after a wide receiver transfer as well, and potentially a corner starter, because we have 3 recruits coming in, but again, they won't get much playing time as true freshmen. We're also losing 2 out of our top 3 receiving options. Tanner Milne's going to return for his senior season, but we probably wouldn't bring in at least 1 starting caliber wideout, maybe 2 of them. And we have some 3 stars that have some interest, especially high interest, with a couple of deep threat guys here. And 3 stars will be probably like a 75 or around there, I think, which I think is fine for us, especially if they're not going to be seniors in year number 3, which they won't, at least for these top 2 options. So we're definitely going to scout and spend some hours on the top couple of options here, because receiver has to be a focus for us. And one last thing, I'm considering going back to a spread playbook and play style only because with scrambling quarterbacks like Gallimore and Breda and the other guy that I forget his name right now, Isaiah Power, they're all scramblers, and they are a way better fit for a spread offense than a pro style, because the spread offense obviously opens up the field a whole lot more. That might also help the running game, but that remains to be seen for sure. So we'll go after maybe 3 different players here and try and get some more speed in this receiving core. I've scouted all 3 guys a little bit here. Cole Turner has a pretty wide range for speed with 10 hours left to spend. He's got solid catch in traffic. He's an okay route runner. Jamel Hardy here has got better release, solid deep route, but kind of low tier speed, while CJ Nelson has good catching, good agility, okay release, at least 3 abilities in total, and probably has high tier speed. At 92, we could really use a guy like him, especially with a high awareness. I'm definitely going to offer him a scholarship and pour in some hours at him. And we'll think about probably Cole Turner over Hardy because of Hardy's lack of speed. Speed matters a lot in this game, and so does catch in traffic, and he does not have the best in either category. So I'm going to take him off our board for now. And Cole Turner's got just below 90 speed. I think we can work with that. We'll definitely offer him a scholarship, and I want to spend these last 25 hours trying to look at a free safety because we're losing both Nako Solomon and Sidney Porter, who were both seniors this season. So we're going to have to find a new starter there as well. And we have some interest here with guys that are 3 stars. And it's got to be probably a zone player like Jordan Coleman here or Adrian Wilson. So we'll scout one of these guys here to close the first week. Coleman's got 74 zone coverage, 87 speed, 73 play rec, solid jumping, pursuit at 81. Only 70 tackling is definitely a concern for us. So probably want to wait to offer a scholarship, and we'll scout Wilson next week. We have just barely surpassed State here and the running for DeChico, approaching his top 3, and they have a visit scheduled. I'm going to schedule one as well, which will be 40 hours, and we'll schedule it for this week. We have surpassed Oklahoma for Corey Bouye once again, but I still want to secure this commitment, so we're going to also pour in hours here for him. At this point, though, I think it makes sense to bow out of the sweepstakes for both Brian Gibbs at punter and Christian Lyles at fullback. They're just not important spots for us, at least initially. We can focus elsewhere. At running back, Baylor has come out of nowhere, so is New Mexico State trying to secure Karan Boyd. Middleton, we are first place over Appalachian State and Marshall. Now, I think I do like Middleton a little bit more, but I would like to get both. So we're going to tack on more hours and probably just send the house, honestly, for Boyd. And we're definitely going to tack on at least 15 more hours to Middleton. SMU is now offering Adrian Wilson, so let's go ahead and scout him real quick and see what he looks like compared to Coleman. He's got better zone coverage, same speed, similar play rec, 80 pursuits, better tackling, and better jumping by a mile. I think I like him a lot more, so we're going to battle with SMU for him, and we're going to start by contacting friends and family. Utah State and Colorado State are now going after Cord Shaw. We're going to have to increase the hours for him. I'm going to put in 30 more to try and jump back into first place. And then for Souls, we got Auburn now trying to steal him away from us, and they have the highest pipeline tier for him, which is going to help them out a lot. We're going to have to schedule a visit, I think, and also tack on more hours in general. So we'll do that. And we'll tack on 30 more hours for him too, approaching the maximum for him. We got 75 hours left to spend. We still have to get at least one outside linebacker signed as well. At guard, we seem relatively fine. No other scholarships offered yet to Kalmalat or Okpokawaruk. That is a tough name to pronounce. We'll just call him Oak. And at tackle, we're fine with the 1 stars. We don't have to focus on that right now. At receiver, Nelson and Turner both only have 1 scholarship from us, and that's it. And we'll probably keep it where they are for now. I'm going to schedule a visit as well with Karan Boyd just to really secure the jump over Baylor, but I got to wait until we're in the top 5. Let's use these last 75 hours to go after a starting caliber corner in Juan Bolden, who is currently a sophomore transfer, is getting offers from Wake Forest currently. We'll scout him briefly. 90 speed, we could use that. Speeds have been pretty low for our secondary pretty much the entire time so far. He's also got great man coverage, great chain of direction. Zone coverage, I'm not really seeing here, but we call man and we lose in man a lot. So let's go ahead and definitely offer him a scholarship and try and bring him in. In week 3, we're going to have to give up on the Josh DeChico sweepstakes as State has just poured hour after hour into him. And despite our visit last week, it has not really helped out too much, so we're going to have to take him off the board. And for Maloney, I do not want Tulsa to come out of nowhere and kind of steal him away, so we're going to have to... I'm going to hard sell him, and that should secure this commitment. We'll use Hometown Hero for him, and we'll tack on like an extra 5 just in case. And then for Bouye, Oklahoma just jumped us once again. We'll have to schedule a visit to make it easier, I think. And we'll do this for a family visit. And then we'll tack on 5 more as well. We got 115 left to spend. We're fine at tackle. We're fine. Well, we were fine with Camelot, but now Oak is getting a scholarship offer from Mississippi State, or not Mississippi State, Michigan State out of nowhere. So let's go ahead and increase this by 30 hours. We've jumped back to first for Cord Shaw. We are first place for Henley in case we don't get Shaw or Souls. But Auburn is kind of running away here with Steven Souls. We still have a shot, but that 5 pipeline tier, the platinum tier, definitely makes things a lot more difficult for us. We're now back in first place over Baylor for Karan Boyd. And we're first place for Terrence Middleton still. We're first for Nelson. First for Cole Turner. And we are about to jump the Mustangs for Wilson here. I'm going to tack on some more hours and schedule a visit because safety is a big part of our team, and, you know, trying to stop those huge plays in pass coverage. So we'll do a family visit here, and hopefully that will be enough. And Wake Forest continues to jump with their influence on Juan Bolden, but we are going to tack on at least 15 more hours and hopefully spend 40 next week for a visit if we can. We get our first commitment here from Dominic Maloney, the middle linebacker who I really liked. He was my favorite of the 3 guys that we looked at from the high school recruits. Nobody else has committed, but Bouye has left us in the dust and barely goes to Oklahoma. We were a centimeter away from getting that scholarship signed. And then Auburn also comes out of nowhere and takes away Steven Souls too. So that is pretty disappointing. And now we are third for Kofi Oak behind the Spartans. And now West Virginia has come out of nowhere to surpass us. We're first for Camelot. And for Juan Bolden now we have passed Wake Forest. And we are probably going to lose out on Adrian Wilson, which means we're probably going to have to go focus on Coleman instead at free safety. But we should be able to get Nelson here soon. We're going to have to give up here on Wilson, I think. Our visit was last week, and it did not really help us out that much, and SMU continues to climb the influence board. We're going to take him off. We're going to have to still at least schedule a visit this week with Bolden just to secure this commitment, but I'm also going to have to probably spend hours to hard sell him to really secure it. So we'll do the clutch pitch. Now, luckily, Coleman does not have any other scholarship offers so far, so we'll definitely offer him one. We'll throw in like 25 hours just in case another school will throw in one scholarship here at the end. And we should be getting Cole Turner and Nelson, especially if no other scholarships are offered to either player, so we don't have to worry about those guys, really. And Middleton is upset because we had Boyd ranked over him on our board, and I guess he's a higher rated player overall than he is. It would be nice to get both, but he might not take our scholarship offer because of the playing time deal breaker. But we're still going to have to schedule a visit, I think, for Boyd anyways to secure that, because he's still got offers from New Mexico State and Baylor. We'll do this one for playing time. I think we have to take Middleton off the board here, or at least free up some hours, because We got to spend at least like 15 or so to scout and offer a scholarship to an outside linebacker. And again, that deal breaker is causing us problems here. So let's go to the transfer portal and see just one outside linebacker that might want to play for us. Our best option here is JT Odom, a transfer sophomore pass coverage linebacker. We'll scout him once. He's got 82 zone coverage. Probably has like just over 80 speed, I'm guessing. And we'll spend our last couple hours looking at him. Scout him one more time. I like his profile a lot, actually. 80 speed's pretty solid. So we'll spend 15 hours to secure that. We end up getting Juan Bolden as potentially our new starting corner after we lose Noah Collins Jr. to graduation. We get Cord Shaw, a middle linebacker, as a transfer. Same goes for Karan Boyd. He comes from Duke, I believe. Jordan Coleman signs as a 3-star free safety. He'll be a new starter most likely for us. And that is it, at least that showed up. But we should have all the other guys signing here on this next week because that should have been it. Let's check National Signing Day. We do get Vincent Tandy, we get Mo Awasika, and we get both Middleton and Karan Boyd. So Middleton still joins our school. At receiver, both Nelson and Turner have transferred to Houma. That is a big couple of pieces right there. We get Holden and Hyde as tackle depth. We do end up getting Demetrius Kalmalot, but we do lose out on Kofi Okpoko, who ends up choosing Michigan State. We'll have to take him off our board, obviously. We got Keelan Byard a couple weeks ago. We do get JT Odom. And we did not get sold, but we do get Julius Henley at least. That's not a bad addition to our team. We get 3 in total. We saw the corners. We saw Coleman. And we're going to have just a random punter and fullback, I think, going into this next year. In the end, we bring in 29 players. 4 of them corners, a pair of defensive tackles, 3 offensive tackles, 3 offensive guards, 2 quarterbacks, 3 receivers, 1 defensive end, 4 new running backs, 2 new tight ends, 3 new middle linebackers, and I think that's it. That's your class right there. And we end up with the 46th overall class in 2025. That's pretty good for a 1-star program. And in the Sun Belt, this should be first place. It's actually second place, only 2 spots behind the Ragin' Cajuns, who obviously clobbered us in our last game of our last season. In the end, though, we got 27 3-stars and 2 1-star recruits. I could not complain. I think we addressed about as many areas as we could, except for punter and fullback. That was pretty much it. We got 5 athletes to change positions here, one of whom is Juan Mallory, the likely receiver, but he can play corner or safety because he has equal man and zone coverage, so we will think about that probably next year, but I think it makes sense for him to be a receiver. Maloney could pretty much play anywhere on our defense, aside from corner, but I think middle linebacker is going to be where he's going to play his best, even if it's not his highest rating right now. Stephen Breda comes in as a 72 overall true freshman. I mean, that is 6 overall spots higher than Jason Gallimore as a true freshman. He could be in the running for the starting job. I'm not going to cut him out just yet. We're going to make him a quarterback officially. And we'll do the same thing for Isaiah Power, who comes in at a 67 overall. Could be our fullback. That is not a bad idea. We don't have a fullback on the team. It would be a 70 overall, but that would take away a year for him. I think I'll go with quarterback for now, but I mean, fullback's not really a issue at all. I think we can just rock with some random guy out there. And then Vincent Tandy. He could be the fullback too at a 70 overall. I think that makes a lot more sense than playing running back at a 65. So let's make him our fullback instead, actually. Now, here's where things become a lot more important. We just jumped from a 76 overall team to an 80 overall team. That better be good enough for at least 4 wins, right? But Tariq Williams had a huge jump up to an 83 or so overall with the motivator adjustments for game day. So as a senior, he will be hopefully a lot better in pass protection. And then Isaiah Crowder has completely shocked me by going up by, I think, at least 10 overall points at left guard. And Shakir Pounce, who was part of our first draft class last season, goes up 9 overall points to an 82 with the game time adjustments. Lehan is probably going to be our starter at safety after he got some playing time, was not able to get a red shirt last year, but now might be our box safety starter. And we're going to have a battle at center here between Grant Huff and Keon Robertson, who I was not really a fan of last year. He was pretty bad in both pass pro and run blocking, but both guys are pass protectors. Huff, though, is a year younger than Robertson is. James Couch-Smith goes up to a 77 true overall on the right side of your screen. Malik Moon, who we gave playing time to towards the end of last year, goes up by a lot. Draymond Gates, I am not really familiar with, but he goes up by a lot. A lot of guys really improved here. Underwood goes up by 4 overall points, I think. Dakota Mills goes up. That's pretty good. So does John Decker IV. A lot of people improved. Millam did go up by 3 overall points. He was a 76 last season, so that's even better for his potential connection with our potential starter and Jason Gallimore. We got Dustin Flint, Jermaine Houston. We're going to have a lot of options here on our defensive line and at linebacker. And Javon Moore comes out of nowhere as a 79 overall receiver. This guy was not even close to cracking our top 5 on the depth chart last year. That's pretty big. And Frank Bad News might also have a case to be the starting center as well. He was also a part of our initial recruiting class. So we have a lot of options here. We've got Trayon Bell also towards the top now and wide receiving. The team just has a lot more depth here in year 3. I'm excited. At quarterback, Gallimore goes up from a 66 true overall to a 70 true overall. We can't see any of the actual ratings yet for the upcoming freshman, but he goes up to a 70 overall. And let's take a look briefly at his ratings. He still has that star depth traits. Does not have any of the physical abilities unlocked just yet. Accuracies look slightly better, but not a lot. The IQ went way up. This was at he had the lowest bar filled for IQ last time we saw. So that was probably the biggest boost for him. This is what the receiving core looks like without the 2 transfer portal acquisitions. Nobody has like groundbreaking speed or anything, but you've got 4 guys that are at least worth starting at the 3rd wide receiver spot. So we have options here at receiver now. I think Millam still needs to be a starter out there for sure. But Javon Moore, Trayon Bell all have definitely a case to be made. Tight end, you've got Maverick Bentley and LaShawn Gray at the same overalls here. LaShawn Gray was a part of that initial recruiting class last year. They both pass up Miles Springer. Williams, as we saw, went up by a lot. Crowder is probably the biggest shock to me so far of anybody. Center, we have 3 guys to choose from. Houston is going to be our new right guard. We'll see if he's better than Max McClure or DeMarcus Perkins from last season. Reggie Cole goes up by 3. Not the best improvements, not the worst. So we'll have to see about him. His pass blocking skills still leave a lot to be desired. Run blocking is not great, but it's not terrible. But again, the pass blocking is really bad across the board, I think. Defensive line, we finally have some real depth. Defensive tackle, we have really 4 players that could all be starting caliber. And we got a couple of guys that have abilities here with Finausa Odo and Tevin Hippenhammer, both guys that were part of that first recruiting class as well. Ben Laney returns for his redshirt sophomore season. He'll probably end up starting over Esteban Rizzo. At middle linebacker, you've got Greenwood and Carty both returning. No abilities for either one. Chuck Madden is only a 66 true overall, but does have 2 mental abilities. Shakir Pounds with a huge boost. We have a lot of outside linebackers that could get playing time this year. But would it be worth redshirting Shakir Pounds this year and having him even better next year? That could definitely be an option for us. Dennis Oman kind of falls behind here as a redshirt freshman now, but under what I think was solid last year. Shakir Pounds, though, has the 2 mental abilities, which they do not. These were the guys that we had last year returning. There's at least 5 guys here. Maddox is just never going to see the field, I don't think. But Randall Glenn, DeMarvin Holland, Dakota Mills, Malik Moon, all 4 of them have the house call physical ability, and Holland has gold quick jump. I think he's got to see the field here, and Dakota Mills with 85 speed might find his starting job taken away despite having 3 physical abilities. At safety, 3 guys return. None of them are going to be like a surefire starter just yet, but Devin Frazier, after starting a lot of last year over Quincy Blue, has been surpassed by Lehan, who I am shocked to say is going to be a starter already. With 92 zone coverage, yeah, we definitely need that down the field. We do need to clear up some roster spots here. We're going to start by asking Maddox to transfer away. He's just not good enough, and we got to fill up or get rid of 7 more spots here. Let's go by position. Quarterback, I think I like where we're at. I don't want to change this up, except maybe getting rid of Xavier Jarvis, but I think we'll pause that at least for now. We'll probably send Tavion Grant somewhere else. He's just not going to see the field that much as a receiving back and now a redshirt sophomore. Because receiver is very deep, I think it makes sense to perhaps have George DeLuca head somewhere else. He was part of that initial recruiting class. Well, actually, maybe perhaps Asher Varner is a better option because he's got 84 speed. That's just not going to break the bank at all. Despite having 99 ball carrier vision, I think it makes sense to let him transfer away and keep DeLuca as a younger player. Tackle. We got to keep all these offensive line guys together. Defensive tackle, maybe, probably not. Defensive ends. I think maybe Ali McCrary could head somewhere else. We got 4 more spots to get rid of here. I like our linebacking core. Might want to send Jaquez Blanks as a redshirt senior elsewhere to get some playing time to close out his career. I think that makes a lot of sense. We're going to let Quincy Blue head somewhere else. And now we got 2 more spots to get rid of. We will send probably Michael Roderick somewhere else. And then 1 last guy to get rid of. Might just have to be Jarvis, I think. Because he's not going to see the field whatsoever. We have too many players here that are going to get playing time, I think, the quarterback. So, there you go. We're going to help out the offense here by pouring points into the passing game. We've got 80 to spend here. I'm just going to load all these up here. And we'll spend the rest on recruiting hours like we did last season. But hopefully this will give us a more dynamic offense. Got 35 points left to spend. We'll spend those on hopefully getting better starting hours for running backs, perhaps. Linebackers are still going to be important going forward. And we're going to look at kicker and punter probably the next year too. We'll just try and spread this out. We can really round out recruiting here until we unlock Elite Recruiter, which will take us probably a few more years to unlock. So there you go. Recruiter is filled up, and we're close to filling up Tactician too. Let's take a look at our quarterback options. I really think Steven Breda, I mean, he could be the guy that we start the year with. I mean, I think it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility to start him for the first 4 games of non-conference play, see what he looks like, and go from there. He only has normal dev, which is a pretty big concern for how much longer he has to go to reach his peak. Ratings-wise, he is close to his peak, actually. I mean, the IQ has a long way to go for sure, but he's already skill-capped on power and nearly on elusiveness, health, and quickness. Accuracy, only 2 blocks left, but these are way better than Jason Gallimore's. This guy looks to me like he's kind of a starting caliber guy. He's already got 2 mental abilities with increased composure gains, especially in close games. And then he's already got several physical abilities with Magician, Option King, and Off-Platform already unlocked. That is key, I think. But have we been sleeping on Isaiah Power? He's got star dev just like Jason Gallimore, and he is capped at quickness, but accuracy and IQ both have at least 5 more blocks to be filled. He's got better starting accuracies than Gallimore had. He's a 70 overall if you include the motivator boost for game day. He has a lot of growing left to do, and with star dev, I think he might have perhaps a higher peak than Breda might. Breda just might be the guy to start right now, but ours got Magician and Option King both unlocked too, so I mean, we have plenty of guys to think about here. At running back, we brought in Karan Boyd and Terrence Middleton. Boyd is a junior, impact dev traits. He's got plenty of growth left, I think, but only 1 year left to get that growth. And he's got no mental abilities, and he has 2 unlocked physical abilities with Safety Valve and Takeoff. Meanwhile, Middleton is now a senior, and he's got Shifty and Takeoff unlocked. He's elusive, and he's very quick. They're very similar archetype players. Who should be the starter? We're going to play Vincent Tandy as our fullback this year as a freshman. Normal depth trait, he's almost entirely skill capped. So, yeah, I don't see a lot of future playing time for him at running back. Despite him having Safety Valve, Recoup, and 2 mental abilities, it's just not in the cards for him. At receiver, though, we have plenty of guys that can fight for starting jobs. I think I do got to start Nelson here with that 92 speed as our highest speed guy on the roster. We did not... Wait, where's Juan Mallory? Where'd he go? I don't see him anywhere on the roster at all. I have scanned through so many rosters, and I do not see Juan Mallory anywhere ever since I changed his thing from athlete to wide receiver. He is nowhere to be found. He was a 3-star gem. Where'd he go? I don't know what happened, but that is extremely disappointing and troublesome for the future for us at receiver, because he was supposed to be a part of our game plan going into year 4. Oh well. At tight end, though, we brought in 2 new recruits, Reggie Reese and Jason Dial. Reese, a higher overall by only 1 in true overall. Reese, impact depth traits. And he's definitely got to work on his blocking skills, but he's already capped in terms of hands and power and quickness. Route running, though, needs work, so he still has a ways to go until he is maxed out. He's also got gold best friend, which will be useful once he becomes potentially the starter at tight end for QB composure gains. And then Jason Dial, the 3-star gem. He's got star developments. And just like Reese, has a ways to go for route running, IQ, and blocking, but otherwise there's already skill caps, so neither guy will probably get up to like an 80 overall or so, but they'll at least be solid starters for a school of our caliber. We brought in a 1-star left tackle. He's a 55 or 53 overall. I'm not going to even focus on him. We did bring in 3 new right guards, though, starting with Cole Kane, who's already got 4 abilities unlocked. 2 mental, 2 physical, normal development traits, and he is not skill capped whatsoever. This guy could be a really big part of this offensive line in a year or two. He's got fan favorite and winning time unlocked, and he's got pocket shield and play action shield. Behind him, you've got 3-star gem impact dev trait player Paul Phoenix, who's got the clear-headed mental ability and is maxed out in terms of power, but he already looks solid there. Everything else, not even close to being skill capped. That is great. And lastly, we have Demetrius Kalmalat, another 3-star guy that we brought in out of high school. And he is also not close to being skill capped, especially in pass blocking and run blocking. That is really good. So he is a bright future ahead. I think we have a couple of really nice future options here at guard. He's got 2 mental abilities already on his profile. At right tackle, we brought in the 1-star Cameron Hyde. Not going to worry about him. Defensively, we brought in right end Keelan Byard. He's got impact dev traits. I mean, he's got skill caps that are a ways away from being reached. Another guy that we can count on, I think, to be a multi-year starter for us, and he's got clear-headed plus the natural to resist weather impacts, especially in the rain. We've had plenty of rain games these first couple of seasons, and he's got the recoup ability currently. That's it so far. He brought in 2 defensive tackles, starting with Darren Kennedy. He's normal dev, out of Arkansas. Finesse moves nearly capped, power nearly capped, but power moves not even close, IQ not close, run stopping not close. He could be a very well-rounded player, more of a run-stopping guy as a run-stopping archetype, or I guess he's a speed rusher archetype, but I think eventually he'll probably be a run-stopper based on these skill caps, but I like him a lot. He's got the recoup physical ability too. And then we've got the 3-star gem, Colin Murphy, with impact development traits in his home state of Louisiana. And yeah, definitely some faraway skill caps for run stopping, power moves, IQ, finesse, and even quickness too. So he could also be a really good starter for us in a couple of seasons. I like our future here at defensive tackle. And nobody is going to be a senior this year, so it's not going to be a need for us this next recruiting season. At linebacker, we brought in Dominic Maloney, who is a top-tier option for me, I think, in terms of the entire recruiting class. He's got impact dev traits and only skill capped in quickness, close to skill capping power, but can definitely grow as a pass rusher and a pass coverage linebacker. That is at least a really good sign for things to come for him. And he's got 2 mental abilities already at silver and fan favorite and winning time. And now for the corners that we brought in. All of them have 1 ability already. They're all mental, actually, not physical. We got Donnie Gesser. Impact, dev traits, and capped out and quickness, but not even close for any other category. That's really good for man coverage, at least. At a 77 already, with still 4 more blocks to fill. Hands could definitely go up by a lot. Zone coverage won't be as good as man coverage, but it does not have to be, I don't think. Power and run stopping still have a long way to go, so he's got a pretty bright future if he continues to develop well. Behind him, you've got Jermaine Heaney, who has normal developments, zone coverage, man coverage, both at least 5 blocks from being capped out. Same goes for hands. He is not skill capped in any one category yet, but close to being as fast as he will be. And he already has the platinum trait for winning time. That is good for late game defense. And then finally, we have Paul Nix, who was the 3-star gem. He's got impact developments, and he's capped out in quickness, nearly in power, but elsewhere, not so much. He could be a pretty well-rounded player here too, mostly a zone coverage guy, but definitely could be a guy that could be good in both areas. Let's take a look real quick at our team needs going into our 3rd season. We're still a 1-star school, I believe. Yes, we are. We did not go down to half a star. And we have 18 needs, only 11 seniors in total. That is huge. So, the future, I think, for us, especially in year 4, that's going to be the year where things should really come together. We still got to find some offensive linemen this year, a new tight end, a couple running backs, and quarterbacks, with Wood becoming a senior this season. On defense, defensive end will be a focus for us, no doubt. Middle linebacker is still going to be a target, and so is safety. But there is a lot to like about who we already have on this roster, and they're mostly all going to stick around for at least one more season. That is a good sign for things to come. And here's our initial recruiting board entering year 3. I found a couple of gems here, but a lot of busts. Like, a lot of busts. So we're going to have to try and redo this board as we approach the first couple of weeks of the new season. I've scouted most of these guys already, and I've offered 6 scholarships so far. But because we don't have that many needs, 18 total and 11 seniors, we can really pick and choose, I think, our options here this year, which will help us out and save a lot of hours across the board. I'm going to take off any FCS team and replace it with something else. Now, they do have us playing only 3 non-conference games this time around, which I don't mind. Well, I guess we have our last non-conference game being against Middle Tennessee State after we play Marshall, so not exactly what I was thinking. This is the same last 6 games that we closed last year with too, is it not? Troy, then Texas State, then UL Monroe, then Southern Miss, then South Alabama, and then Louisiana. Gonna take out FCS Southeast, and I'll change this to somebody else. I would like it to be a team that has like a similar overall to us. Maybe perhaps Colorado State, one of those Mountain West schools, could be a good team for us to face. And that will be our second non-conference game. We open the year against Memphis, though, on the road in Tennessee, so that's apparently a rivalry here. So that's our first ever rivalry game. We have not had one so far in this series. We also play at TCU week 3. That's going to be a tough game for us against a potentially ranked opponent. And we played JMU for the first time in week 7 as well. I have made my depth chart decisions here, folks, going into year number 3. We're going to give Steven Breda a chance to start the year as the main guy under center. And if he plays well enough, he will not receive a red shirt in his true freshman season. So if he plays well, he'll be the starter going forward. If not, Gallimore will come back in and get one more shot as the starter. At running back, we'll have Karan Boyd and Middleton go back and forth, I think, in battle for that starting job. We'll have Cameron Teague be the fullback over Tanny, just in case we think about redshirting him in his freshman season. At receiver, we got Tanner Mellum, C.J. Nelson, and Javon Moore as our top 3, with Trayon Bell, C.J. Peaks, and Cole Turner also getting playing time. At tight end, LaShawn Gray, now a sophomore, comes in as the starting tight end, followed by Maverick Bentley. At left tackle, we've got Tariq Williams. At left guard, we've got Isaiah Crowder. At center, I'm starting Grant Tuff over Keon Robertson because he has more speed, he has more awareness, he has way better pass block overall, very similar pass block power and finesse, and better run blocking skills than Robertson has. And then at right guard, We'll have Jermaine Houston as the starter. At right tackle, Reggie Cole returns. Hopefully just plays better. But if he doesn't, Aiden Kramer is a better pass blocker than Cole is. And he also has better run blocking skills. I might actually start Kramer over Cole for now and see what happens. He's got better strength and awareness too. At left end, we'll have James Couch Smith. At right end, we'll have John Decker IV. At defensive tackle, Cade Bloom and DJ Dean are your starters, but Fanausa Odo and Hippenhammer will both have a chance to get playing time and make a big impact off the bench. We'll have Draymond Gates be our left outside linebacker, backed up by JT Odom. In the middle, we'll have Cord Shaw, the transfer senior linebacker, and transfer senior Julius Henley side by side with Shakir Pound, the starting right outside linebacker. Underwood comes in behind him in his redshirt junior season. And at corner, we have two new corners overtaking Dakota Mills as the top two on the depth chart, with Juan Bolden and Malik Moon. Mills, the third guy, followed by DeMarvin Holland and Randall Glenn. At free safety, transfer senior Jordan Coleman becomes the starter, backed up by Hunter Haynes. And J.R. Lehan blossoms into our starter at strong safety, backed up by Chris Ellinger and Devin Frazier. At kicker, we'll have George Lincoln come back for his redshirt sophomore season, and we've got freshman Nick Andrade as our punter, although he's not very good. We'll have Nelson return both kicks and punts, and we will have Middleton be our third down running back, which means that he will get plenty of snaps every single week. We'll have Teague as the power back. We'll have Millen back in the slot where he played in year 2. We'll have Gates as the rush left end, Underwood as the rush right end. So if we're in a pass rushing package, then I believe he will become a starting player. We'll have Bloom be our rush defensive tackle, Court Shaw be the sub linebacker. Thinking about though putting in Odom, and actually I think I will play Odom as that guy because that would give him plenty of snaps over the middle as a pass coverage guy. That will have Malik Moon be our slot corner with that 92 speed. And then we're back to quarterback. So a lot of change to our starters, and we have a quarterback battle brewing here in year number 3. We'll find out who wins it in the first couple of weeks. All that being said, that is it for our second off-season. We once again had a pretty big jump in overall. We'll see how that plays out on the field as opposed to on paper. We have a bunch of new starting players on either side of the football. A couple of guys have returned, but most guys have been replaced in those starting positions. I will see you guys in a week 1 for a rivalry game, our first of the entire dynasty, against the Memphis Tigers in Memphis, Tennessee. Thanks for watching as always. Please like the video, subscribe if you're new, leave your feedback down below, and week 1 is coming up soon. Take care. Have a great day.